The story begins with a popular online game named Legendary Age, where a high school student named Nishimura is proposed by one of the guild members named Ako. Although he does not believe that this girl is a real person in real life, he accepts her marriage proposal in the game. Nishimura is still scarred from a previous online encounter with another female, who rejected him after revealing that she was a middle-aged man. He then decided to never trust a female in an online game again. But little does he know, that this decision of accepting her marriage proposal will lead him down a rabbit hole of virtual and real-life problems. However, after playing alone for a while and reflecting on his life, he realized that his life outside the game is not the same as his life inside the game, so he doesn't care if a character in the game is cute or not. Nishimura likes to hang out with Ako and other members of his guild. Although Ako is a very bad healer, which causes him to die a lot because of her mistakes. After clearing a dungeon in the game, Ako questions Nishimura about why he finally agreed to marry her after denying her multiple times. He says that he doesn't care if she is real, but she claims that she is a real girl. The guild master also says that he is a real girl, but nobody believes him. So, the guild decides to meet in real life and they all agree to meet the following day. While waiting for the other members of the guild to arrive, Nishimura feels a hand on his shirt and when he turns around, he sees a gorgeous girl who introduces herself as Ako and hugs him while calling him Rusian, his in-game name. He's shocked to find out that Ako is actually a girl, not just a random middle-aged dude. The rest of the members of the guild arrive and it is revealed that the guild master as well as another guild member are all real girls. They meet up at a cafe where they officially introduce themselves to each other and start talking about how they hate normal people. Ako is really attached to Nishimura. Even though they are married in the game, Ako thinks that he's her husband in the real world too. It turns out that Akane is another guild member, who's also a classmate of Nishimura's. The two of them choose to keep their real lives separate from their game lives and act like total strangers at school, so they don't ruin each other's social life. The following day, Ako shows up at his class and proudly states that he is his wife. The other students are confused by her statement. Akane and Nishimura pull Ako out of class and try to explain her that their school and game lives are completely different. Ako, on the other hand, doesn't understand them and takes it as a sign that they don't want to be her friends. They realize that Ako struggles to differentiate between the real and the virtual, so they form an online gaming club to help Ako. They think that by playing with Ako in the same room, Ako will learn the difference between the two. Nishimura is surprised to see Netoge in the game, the same middle-aged dude he turned down before. Netoge is glad to see that Nishimura is still playing. So the next day, after school, they all hang out and play Legendary Age. Nishimura then realizes that Ako is wearing the wrong gear with the wrong stats just to look cute. So they force her to equip a flame-resistant robe, which upsets her. Ako is facing problems controlling her character as she is not familiar with the computer settings, and is not able to give heals to her teammates. So Nishimura has to play both his and Ako's characters to make sure their whole guild doesn't get killed. Their game ended and Nishimura was completely exhausted. Kyo then tells them that if they don't find a faculty member soon, then their club might get shut down. That night, Nishimura logs into Legendary Age to take some advice from Netoge. Ako, who has been following Nishimura, gets jealous after seeing both of them. The following day, Miss Yui found out that Ako had stopped showing up to school. The guild confronted Ako about it in-game, and she said she was too busy getting ready for an offline meeting with a stranger from Legendary Age. The club objects to this, and Ako logs out before they can persuade her. Akane finds out where the meetup is taking place and asks Nishimura to stop Ako. He confesses that he's developed feelings for Ako after spending time with her in the game, but he doesn't want her to be taken away by a stranger. He rushes to the meeting spot and gets there just in time to face Ako, but the stranger still hasn't arrived. Suddenly, their teacher Miss Yui shows up. Miss Yui is surprised when Ako calls him Rusian instead of Nishimura. Nishimura then realizes that Miss Yui is in fact Netoge, the middle-aged man who had previously rejected him. Ako decided to meet Netoge face-to-face in real life so that she could tell her to stay away from her husband. She then lashes out at Miss Yui, who instinctively knocks her out. Kyo hires Miss Yui as the new advisor for their club, and Miss Yui doesn't have much to say in this matter after she knocks one of the students down. But as time passes, Ako gets really upset because of the rumors about her relationship with Nishimura. Ako had been trying to keep her classmates away from her, but now her classmates were talking to her and gossiping about her and Nishimura. It was all too much for Ako, who was an introvert. She turned to her friends for help, but then Akane's friend Onnanoko walked into the club room and asked Akane why she was there. Akane tries to cover up for herself and ends up pushing her out of the club room. Later that night, Nishimura and Ako run into a new player named Set. So Nishimura decided to help her and taught her all the basics of the game, which made Ako jealous. The following day, the group is getting ready for another mission when Set appears again. Nishimura informs the group that Set is a newcomer to the game, and Akane offers to mentor her in order to help her progress. Set refuses her offer, saying she just wants Rusian to teach her how to play. This upsets Ako even more. The next day, Ako suggests the club play a different game since she doesn't want Set to run into them again. Kyo looks for a new game and finds an FPS game, Ultra Force. The group agrees to play and they're shocked to see that Ako is really good at it. Ako then reveals that she shoots all the enemies thinking that they are normies, which she hates a lot. After playing Ultra Force the whole night, a sleepy Nishimura notices that Ako is acting a lot as she was in the game. She starts talking in military language and talks about how she's sniping at normal people. Then Onnanoko appears and walks up to Nishimura, asking him why he was not online in Legendary Age last night. Nishimura and the other guys figure out that Onnanoko is Set. Akane gets depressed and mutters something about her high school days being over. At the same time, Onnanoko is seen to tease Ako by wrapping her arms around Nishimura, which makes Ako angry and she leaves the room. Later, she apologizes to Nishimura and tells him that she is not really interested in him. After not being able to communicate with Ako in real life, Nishimura decides to speak to Ako in the game. In the game, Ako reveals that she wants to drop out of school and concentrate on playing Legendary Age, in order to reach a high level and be reincarnated as a new character in the game. Ako is so focused on her new mission that she blocks in-game chat, which forces Nishimura to bring Ako back to school again. The next day, Nishimura goes to her house. He runs into her mom, who seems to know all about how Rusian is Ako's online husband. She gives him the go-ahead and gives him the key to her room. He knocks on the door and tells Ako he will come inside even if she doesn't want to. She freaks out and says she's not ready, but Nishimura gets in anyway, only to find Ako in the middle of getting dressed. In a fluster, he shuts the door quickly to give Ako some privacy as she changes. Ako shares that she finds it more comfortable gaming with fewer clothes. After she's ready, she lets Nishimura know that he can enter the room. However, when he opens the door, he finds Ako with no clothes at all. She asks him to please be gentle with her before he slams the door shut once again. Once all the misunderstandings are sorted out, Ako spends the whole day with Nishimura, getting the most out of her character. She even lets him crash at her place for the night, and they play until the early hours of the morning. He understands how Ako feels and how hard it is for her to accept and cope with reality, so he talks her into going back to school. He tells her that if she ever gets so stressed out that she wants to quit school, he'll visit him again so they can spend the whole day together. After a while, Nishimura starts to realize that he wants to be more than just Ako's husband in the game. He wants to have a real-life relationship with her outside of the game. But he doesn't know how to tell Ako how he really feels. Nishimura asks Akane and Kyo for help as he doesn't know how to confess to Ako in real life, but they don't have any advice for him as they have never been in a relationship before. The following day, Ako and Nishimura go for a nice afternoon walk and stop by the park. He finally confesses his feelings for her, letting her know how he feels, and asks her out, but she turns him down. Kyo and Akane try to cheer up Nishimura after he gets rejected by Ako. Akane then calls Ako to ask her about the rejection. Ako explains that going from wife to girlfriend was like a demotion and she didn't want that. Nishimura is relieved after hearing it and is happy that Ako still likes her, but he is still thinking about how to make Ako accept him in real life and not just in the game. Their summer vacation arrives, and the club decides to hang out at Kyo's private villa. They thought it would help Ako get away from the internet and reconnect with others in real life. After spending some time on Kyo's private beach, they decided to go inside and play some games. Miss Yui got mad at them and told them to enjoy their youth and touch some grass instead of playing games all day. At the end of the day, Kyo sets up a fireworks display for Nishimura so that he can confess to Ako. He then confesses to Ako saying he loves her and wants her to be his girlfriend, but Ako replies with a poker face that they're already married. Kyo thinks the vacation was not helpful and decides to go to another fancy hotel that is organizing an event with collaboration of Legendary Age. The rest of the day is spent doing quests inside the hotel to get exclusive items. Around noon, Nishimura and Ako are playing Legendary Age in their hotel room. Ako suggests that they should have a bit of a naughty chat. That's when a hacker takes control of his account and starts making sexual advances towards Ako. Nishimura noticed that there was something wrong with his account as he was not able to log into it. Nishimura realizes that his account got hacked and quickly alerts Ako, who then realizes that the person she is chatting with is not Nishimura but someone else. After contacting the admins, his account was recovered, but his character was deleted from the game. Ako is sad about Rushan's disappearance, thinking she will never be able to see her husband again. The group decides to assist Nishimura in recovering his items. Then Nekohime's guild finds Rushan's wedding ring. A merchant named Ronton is found selling Rushan's items at a high price. Despite providing this information to the admins, they did not have enough proof of Ronton's involvement with the hacker. Later, he and his guild buddies get a link to a hacker's blog where the hacker was boasting about how he hacked into Nishimura's account. Nishimura plans to take down the hacker, so everyone works non-stop for the next 3 days to execute the plan. Ako shows up at Nishimura's place to check on him and gives him a yummy bento she made herself. While they are talking, Ako suddenly realizes that the deletion of his account has also ended their marriage in the game. The following day, Nishimura's plan is executed and they lure the hacker into a fake hacker blog to get their real IP address and send it to the admin. The hacker falls into their trap and the admin bans the hacker and restores the Rusian character which belonged to Nishimura. Once he's back on his own account, Ako and Nishimura get married again in the game, in front of all their friends, including members of their guild and Nekohime. Thanks for watching and subscribe if you want to see more. Also let us know in the comments below if you want to see a recap of any other anime.